You also have, I think, here at Clark, what some of the other your sister schools don't have, are two valuable communication
Yes.
departments that have a daily contact with the broader
Hmm.
general public in terms of WCLK
Yep.
and the cable station.
Exactly.
Two which very well could be helping, I would think, to at least
Well,
generate funds, or
that
at least
conversation,
pay for themselves.
yeah,
What's your thought on those?
those
What are your plans?
conversations are ongoing. We began these conversations really shortly after I got here because I think we're underutilizing our cable presence, seriously underutilizing it. And while its primary purpose is to serve as a support mechanism for our academic program, it can certainly be used for many, many other purposes. We have students all over the media and the art world. We have faculty all over it. It could be a great outlet for those kinds of productions. And I'm talking about quality work. Just yesterday, for example, in the midst of getting ready for this and no space and time, one of my staff came in and asked if he could have 6 or 7 minutes. I said, no, you may not. He said, I've got 2 students I want you to meet. I said, the students, yeah, bring them in. A pair of twins who sing like angels. Just brought them and said, this is what they do. And this on the spot, they just popped up and just laid it out. It was spectacular. It was better than what you're going to find almost any other place. You know, I've been a bunch of places, okay? And I can't help but think that if we began to use our structures to showcase that kind of thing, we went out to Hollywood in the fall for the UNCF Evening of Stars. While we're out there, we staged a meeting with our alumni in Los Angeles. You know, we got some talent out there that is doing things in the music and the movie and the television industry that is just amazing. But we have not worked with and connected with that in the ways that we need to. So that is part of what we're going to do. So we need to use those mechanisms, absolutely.
Looking at the way, and I've had discussion with your predecessor
Hmm.
and other of your sister colleges presidents about when are we going to see Clark or just private black institutions, period, move to a point of moving to the model of, say, a University of Phoenix? When is there going to be the flexibility
Yeah.
in what you offer? Because, for instance, one of your largest departments is mass media arts.
Hmm.
But if they wanted to get a master's or a PhD,
Hmm.
they have to go to Georgia State or somewhere
That's
else. You know, and then there are those who can't quit their job, particularly now, in order to come over here and take classes between 8 and 5.
Right.
You know, when do you see that? I know it's
Well,
not immediate, but when do you see that happening, whether it be online courses?
I can't say definitively when that's going to happen. I can say that that conversation is ongoing, and as I explained to the faculty just last week in talking about this, we have to make some improvements in our IT capacities and reliability before you step out there. Right now, we have some internal glitches and issues that we have to handle. Before you put yourself out in front of the planet to say you can do something, you've got to be certain that you can sustain it. Otherwise, it's a global failure. So we're working toward that. But as I've told you before, there's a lot here that has to be refitted and re-engineered. And that's the process we're trying to get more deeply into now.
Do you see a further decrease for the next few years in terms of student enrollment?
Well, I can't predict that in this economy because the fundamental issues, there are 2 fundamental issues for us right now. Number one is the capacity of our families to pay. which includes the access to money, loans, financial aid, etc. So, of course, we're rooting for parts of the stimulus package because of what's in it for higher education. But I also know that some of that's going to be compromised out in the Senate version. So we got to wait and see on some of that. So that's one side of the issue. The other side is working in a pattern that makes us appear to be what we really are, which is a good investment for external resources. We've not done that well historically. And historically, we've always found ourselves in a position for public disaster. And that's why how we handle this current moment is so very important. We're being as systematic as we know how to be. We're being as open with our personnel and our clientele and our students as we know how to be. We hold big, huge, wide open meetings to tell everybody what's going on, what we're doing, why we're doing it, and we let them talk to us and then we respond. So we don't script the stuff. We have real dialogues. Last Thursday, we had a massive dialogue with the entire faculty to tell them this day was coming and what's in it and how we have to deal with it. We followed that with a 2-hour meeting with the entire staff. We followed that at 5 o'clock with about a 2.5-hour meeting with about 2,500 of our students. We left there and went over and beat Morehouse in basketball and came back home. So that's the institution we're trying to push. You know, we argued about some things with our students, and other things they argued with us about, other stuff we agreed on, got ourselves on roughly the same page, understanding their concerns and them getting a clear picture of what we had to do. And then it was time to go and deal some hard blows to Morehouse. And so we filled up that gymnasium over there. We left a little room for the Morehouse folk to come in. But we filled it up. They had the little band over there doing their nice little work. And then we rolled in the Panthers, and that was shut down. So, it was like that.
So are the athletic programs safe at this point? Are we
No,
seeing
everybody gets cuts. Everybody. Everywhere where we can reduce cost and continue to do what we do, we're doing that. Now, one thing folks need to understand about athletics programs is that's how a significant number of our students afford to be here. So a football player isn't just a guy who loves football and wants to go wherever he can play football. He's paying for his education, and that's how we get this done. Well, we've got great students in our athletics program. Our women's basketball team, you know, they're beating almost everybody. We're number 25 in the nation, okay, in Division II. They're also great people. Our men's team is doing very well. Great young men, got great presence on campus, take care of business. When we say community service, they roll in. Our football team does the same thing. Baseball, softball, track and field. These are good folks. We're getting a good education and using it well. So we're going to support that. But my coaches and my staff certainly understand I got to cut some things and they got to work harder at some stuff. They got to take on some new duties. So, you know, don't be surprised to hear about coaches washing uniforms. Okay? Been there before. I'll do it again when I have to. Don't be surprised to hear about coaches taking equipment inventory. We're going to do whatever we have to do to keep carrying out our fundamental business and our support business.
Final message to the alumni.
Final message to the alumni. This is your institution. It's a great institution. Unfortunately, in these times, it has to undergo some very difficult moments, but its future is wrapped up in the extent to which all of its communities rally around it and assist it to move forward with their dollars, their words, and their effort. That's the game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time.
All right. Glad you could come out.